love this place. We're in Greenfield, Indiana, everybody. This show is live at the Depot. I was talking to Thomas a little bit earlier. Thomas is going to make a grand appearance, the owner, a little bit later on. And, in fact, what they've done to this area here in Greenfield, and we've talked about this before. We were back-to-back days here, if you remember, last fall, Halloween to November the 1st. Of a year ago. What they have done is incredible, and the heartbeat of it is the Depot. Upstairs, downstairs, it is a great opportunity for you to join us for an Ice Cold Bud Light. Our friends from Zinc are here. So, Ice Cold Bud Light. And we've got Colts tickets for you. We have Niners Colts tickets for you. Monday night for you. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Do you want to see a 44-year-old quarterback that hasn't played in 5 years, or would you rather see apparently a healthy rookie in Riley Leonard start coming up on Sunday? That conversation coming up as well. The Pacers on the road in Philly coming up later on tonight. We've got Purdue Marquette tomorrow. Sharon Moore story. One of these days, that thing is going to be on the big screen. You talk about absolutely ridiculous. That coming up too, and a lot of guests for you, including a busy weekend for Hoosier fans, because not only do you have the Heisman that ultimately will go to quarterback Fernando Mendoza, that has been the call here, but also a rebirth of the rivalry coming up tomorrow night at 7 o'clock down in Lexington. It is IU and Kentucky, and the voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher's got to go early because my man's got to catch a flight and get down to Rupp and get down to Lexington. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hello, Don. How are you?
I'm good, John. How about yourself?
Sounds like Don Fisher's rolling hot down I-69. What are you doing, about 78 miles an hour?
No, literally, I'm just leaving my house, so I'm doing about 30 right now.
All right. Well, I will bet by the end of this conversation, you're going to be going at a little bit more of a rapid pace. But this weekend has to be incredible for you, too. I mean, you get finally, back the rivalry in basketball and Mendoza and the Heisman and knowing what you know and what you went through. I sent you a text last week. I was so happy for you. It was such an incredible listen, you and Buck, with that Saturday night affair at IU winning the Big Ten title over Ohio State. And then what Curt Cignetti said about you. I don't know, have you ever had, as far as your career is concerned, a more special week that you really soaked up emotionally as you did this past week?
Not really, John. I've never experienced the Big Ten championship before, so I can't honestly say I have. And, of course, I got a chance to do the Indiana-Louisville game prior to that over at Gamebridge, which wasn't necessarily the outcome we were looking for, but I like the fight in these kids. And the fact that they didn't shoot it very well at the beginning probably sunk them in that game. But all that said, the weekend was special for a number of reasons. Of course, the biggest of which was Indiana winning a Big Ten championship for just the third time in the history of the school. And then on top of that, the way it was won against the number one ranked team in the country and taking that away from Ohio State and now being the number one seed in the Big Ten or in the CFP. So I'm elated about what we're seeing, John, as you know, and we've talked about this many times. I just think Curt Cignetti is the best thing we've ever had, and that's saying something because I love Bill Mallory and Terry Hefner and people like that.
Can I give a shout-out to Scott Dolson, too? Because remember a little over a month ago when they extended Cignetti and the dollar figure came out and everybody lost their mind and cried and whined and that's too much. And then you see the college football landscape with the jackassery in Ann Arbor or what went on in State College or, the SEC coaching carousel with Lane Kiffin. Aren't you glad that we're, with all this greatness that's going on, the last thing I want to talk about would be something like that. So can we give a shout-out to Scott Dolson, the AD?
Absolutely. Scotty is the reason that Curt Cignetti is in Indiana, along with Pam Whitten, the president. To get Curt Cignetti and, just looking at how they went about it, I mean, they knew as soon as they talked to this guy that he was the real deal and he was going to change things at IU. I'm not sure anybody thought it was going to happen this quickly, but the fact of the matter is it has. and Indiana is now not an emerging superpower. it is a superpower in the sense that Indiana football is now everybody's on everybody's lips, and what they've done to this point in the season is just remarkable.
I never thought, Don, that I would see a day when, we've seen them before beat Ohio State back in the late 80s and Anthony Thompson in that particular era. But an IU team that was clearly more physical and tougher defensively, not only when it matters, but throughout the game. I never thought I would see that versus Ohio State. That to me is what tells you exactly where this team and this program is right now, because that was something we never thought would happen, and we saw that 18-plus million people saw that, and probably 200 million people listened to you and Buck on Saturday night too. I never thought we would be with that in mind, but that's where we are right now. It's incredible stuff.
It really is, John. And here's the thing. When you talk about Ohio State, you're talking about one of the blue bloods of college football and have been forever. And they have more 4- and 5-star players on their roster than Indiana has 3-star. I mean, Indiana's probably got maybe 3 or 4 4-star guys, not a single 5-star guy. And Ohio State's got like 40 of them. So we're looking at a program that has been developed. And think about this. It's been developed in year 1 of this guy's coaching. And in year 2, they're in the college football playoff with a bye all the way up to the semifinals. So what are we looking at here? It's just unbelievable, and it's so fun to be a part of.
It is. What's funny about this is, and Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, he's on the way to the airport. He's taking off for Rupp Arena, Lexington, Kentucky, for the IU-Kentucky matchup tomorrow night. 7:30, 6:30 your coverage on 93 WIBC for that game and the reemergence of that. But no, you're right. And, I get the star stuff coming out of high school, but Curt Cignetti it brought guys in of the veteran presence that have transformed themselves into 4-star collegiate players. And that's when it ultimately matters for your program. That's what's so amazing about this.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I said before, the development is such a critical factor. Bill Bauer used to try to do this with 2- and 3-star guys. Curt Cignetti is doing it with 3 and a few 4-star guys. But here's the thing about Cignetti. He vets everybody he brings into the program, whether it's a coach, a football administrator, an assistant coach, whoever it is. And it's players at the high school level and then from the portal. He vets all these guys, John, and that's why he's so good at what he does, because he knows what he wants. He knows what he's looking at when he sees it. And obviously when he talks to these kids, he gets a real feel for what kind of young men they are. And then he either says yay or nay, and that's the guy we want, or, they just say, well, nice talking to you. So he's not gonna get a guy who just believes that guy is the best and he thinks he deserves to make $5 million or whatever it is that they're paying these kids these days. And a lot of the fact is that he won't get a guy unless that guy shows his character first. And if he doesn't, well, again, they're not going after him.
Yeah, Don, what's funny about this is it is about money. There's no question about that. But to make sure it's more than just money, you have to be so ultra selective in how you put together a team. And I think that's where he stands alone right now. And it's not just the quarterback position or a position here or there. Don, it's damn near every position where you add a level of play and you take a shot at bringing somebody in. That's when you get the results from it. It is more than just the bankroll that you have to give. It's about making sure you have the right guys that fit you, your system, and your team. And that's where he has been elite to me with how he's put together back-to-back teams in Bloomington.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, John. You put it probably more succinctly than I did.
Well, I'm bummed because clearly if you're on your way to the airport, we're not going to go later on tonight and drink beers and watch you and your wife eat. So that stinks. But that's okay. That is all right.
You can still do that. You can still do that, John.
I am. I'm in Greenfield today at a great place. You and Susie would love it, called the Depot. And I'll probably hang over here until it starts snowing or something and try to make my way back to Bargersville. But no, I was really happy for you. Listening to you and Buck the other night was fantastic, and you guys soaking that up. And then you get the Heisman with Fernando Mendoza, which should be his, coming up tomorrow. This is just territory, Don, that we never thought we would be in, yet here we are. And I love the fact that this builds expectations. And, man, there is nothing wrong with expectations.
No, expectations were after last season. They were the kind of thing that even Indiana fans at that point said, well, if he did it this year with a weak schedule, can he do it again next year? Well, he's proven that. If these fans haven't bought in now, they never will buy in, because this guy has been remarkable in what he's been able to accomplish in just 2 seasons for this Hoosier program. And here's the thing, John. Are they going to do it every year? I think they're going to be really good every year. I do that. I do believe that. Now, whether they're going to make the college football playoff every year, that kind of thing, that's all down the road. And if you're an Indiana football fan now, we hope that you hang in there, because there are going to be rough moments. Look what happened to Stephen Daly after that ball game, celebrating with his family and his fan base, those people. And somehow he goes up, jumps up to slap a high five with somebody, and the next thing you know, he comes down and he's lost a patella tendon or some kind of a lower leg injury. I shouldn't even say patella tendon, because I don't know. Actually, that's what it was. That's what I heard initially, but I don't know. Anyway, he gets hurt. And so what happens if you lose a guy the ilk of Fernando Mendoza? How does that affect your team, and how does that affect your year? So always there's other things involved here than just developing players and getting the right guys. And you got to have a little luck with the injury aspect of it as well. So right now, all I can tell you, John, is that I think this is the best football coach Indiana's ever had. And again, I'm talking about guys that I respect and thought the world of when they came here. And I still feel the same way about those people. But this guy is different, and he's different in so many different ways, in the sense of what he's been able to accomplish, number one. But number two, what kind of person he is and how he does his job, because he has learned how to run a program, and he is the CEO of it, and there's nobody else.
Is he in New York with Mendoza for tomorrow? Or tomorrow, I should say. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock, is he there?
I don't know what time they've left, or if they have left. I know they'll be leaving today for sure. Probably have already flown out there, maybe this morning or maybe even yesterday. I don't know. I have not heard that. All I know, and I think it's today that they're all leaving. So Fernando and Coach Signetti and Scott Dolson and the other folks in the administration that are making that trip out there. I'm going to tell you this, John, the fact that you predicted that Fernando is going to win it from your prediction perspective, I've said since the ball game against Ohio State that it's going to be a landslide. It's not just going to be slipping in the side door. This guy's going to win it in a big margin, I think.
Hey, finding our guy, Charlie Becker, to close it out in the fashion in which they did, I thought that was, like everybody else had suggested, his Heisman moment. And, Don, listen, I know that we're biased because he's in Bloomington and leading the Hoosiers. But when you come across an athlete that is that incredibly genuine, man, you got to hang on for the ride, because that makes it even extra special.
Absolutely. He's just a great young man. He has worked his tail off to get better each and every ball game. And there's little doubt that he's gotten better every ball game this year, with the exception maybe of the Purdue ball game. But he still hung in there and did what he had to do to help his team win. And then, of course, won in a big way. What would it have been like if he would have been on his game? It had been 100 Well, it wouldn't have been because obviously he didn't play the whole game. And that's the other thing, John. In the last 3 or 4 games they've played, they've used, I mean, in all those blowout games as well that they had earlier in the season, they played a lot of the roster. They played other guys. So he hasn't played the complement of minutes that some of these quarterbacks around the country have played this year, simply because of Indiana's ability to score the football and get way ahead and then go in there and use second and third team guys. So, like I said, I think he's a runaway with the Heisman Trophy. Couldn't happen to a finer individual. And, yeah, he's a little bit different. A lot of people think he's a nerd, but he is just a great young man. There's no doubt about it. How he handles his mom and that situation with her health issues and that kind of stuff, it's remarkable.
Yeah, I dig, and you and I are on the same page with this. We love genuine human beings, and when you find one, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, you grasp onto it because it's few and far between, unfortunately, I think, out there right now, and he, at that particular level, is certainly one of them. I did want to ask you before we move to basketball, then I'll let you go here, because I know you're on the road to Rupp Arena coming up in a flight, and then tomorrow night with IU and Kentucky on the hardwood down at Rupp. What was the first thing you thought of when the clock hit 0 on Saturday night and that win for IU?
John, I couldn't tell you what the first thing was in my mind, because the only thing that was in my mind was Indiana wins a Big Ten championship. I could not, I mean, it's surreal in the sense that you just never expected it, especially this soon after you made a new hire of a new coach. None of those things crossed my mind. The only thing that crossed my mind was I am so happy for all of the Indiana football fans who have always bought season tickets, who have stuck through thick and thin some of the worst football and some really good football, but some really bad football through the years. And those people never gave up. They came every single ball game. Those people that bought season ticket holders, whether there was 15 or 18,000 or whatever number that is, and those people continue to buy season tickets. Those are the people I was happiest for at Indiana University.
I 100% feel the same way. I was like kind of reminiscing to myself about, you and I having conversations when I-69 was being built, and it was, kind of like shoehorning your way from Indy down to Bloomington to get to an IU football game. I was thinking about, Fred Glass in the past there with what he was trying to go through with that, and, all the way back to the Mallory era and guys like Anthony Thompson and Van Waiters and Mike Dumas, where, we thought, Don, at the time in the late 80s, when I would sit in my room and listen to you, or we'd listen on the bus on the way to a basketball game when the football season was still going on, how great they were playing then, never ever thinking that it would get to that particular level. So I think that I think when you go back as far as us in this, it's even more meaningful because, being honest with yourself, you never thought you would witness anything quite like what we're witnessing right now.
No, I can honestly tell you, John, up until last year, I thought I'm probably not going to be able to go long enough to see anything like what we just saw. And the fact that I've gotten to see it now, it doesn't make me feel like I need to give it up just because we won a Big Ten championship. But the thing about it is, John, it's like a dream. It's like a dream that has come true. And honestly, I couldn't be happier about it. I couldn't be happier about the fact that I've had the blessing to be a part of this program for 53 years now. And I can't wait till the next thing. It's like now we got this going on. Now we've got the CFP to play in. We got a basketball game with Kentucky back in the schedule again, which is huge. And Scott Dolson deserves a tremendous amount of credit for getting that aspect of it done with Mitch Barnhart, the AD at Kentucky, to get this series going again, because that should never have stopped. And, of course, the reason that it did, and I've always blamed it on Calipari because I know how bitter he was after Indiana beat them on the Watford shot. But at the same time, I don't think it was just him. I think there was the reason behind the stoppage of the series, and I found this out recently, is the fact that Indiana wanted to play home and home, and Kentucky wanted to play in big venues. That's what Calipari certainly wanted. They wanted to play like in places like Lucas Oil Stadium and the Superdome and places like that. This series, and Indiana didn't want to do that, and so the series ended for that reason alone. And look, I understand you got to do what you got to do from a coach's standpoint, an AD standpoint. I get all that, but this was too good a series to have stopped.
Yeah.
It started in earnest in 1969, and from that point forward, they played every single year, I think, except for one, all the way up until it ended in 2013, when Cody Zeller and Christian Watford and those guys, it was actually 2012, when those guys beat Kentucky, and it shouldn't have ended there. It should have continued on.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. And I think you should probably just look at it, too, if you were making those decisions, as you can actually fill up venues that enormous with people interested in your basketball, your collegiate basketball product. And, yeah, everybody gets haywire over that stuff. But I agree with you. The rivalry has to maintain. You kind of got to look past some stuff sometimes.
Right. Exactly. I mean, Indiana's been able to battle Purdue twice a year forever. And there's a year or two where they only got to play one time. But, look, rivalries are huge to every program. And it's one of the games that everybody looks forward to. No matter who your rival is, those are games that the fan base looks forward to. And you should never take one of those huge rivalries off your schedule for any reason, in my opinion, unless something really tragic happens. And I don't want to go there, obviously. But at the same time, why would you ever want to end a rivalry? Because that is the fan base's best game of the year, generally speaking.
Yeah. Hey, did you, when you're in Bloomington, go by the convenient food mart and grab Lamar Wilkerson a breakfast burrito, would you? Because I think he could do that again. Apparently that's what he ate before that 44-point explosion, where that's some shooting that basketball fans, if you've ever played the game of basketball, that is a dream right there. He was living a dream the other night versus Penn State.
Did you ever have a shooting day like that, John?
You know what, Don? I would if the damn AD at Center Grove High School would ever sweep the floor in the West Gym. But it's the dirty-ass floor, and I slide everywhere, and it sucks.
Oh, that's funny.
I saw him. I actually saw him last Sunday, and I said, man, you guys are always asking for money. My God, can somebody, run a broom across this floor just occasionally? That'd be great.
Well, whatever the case, Lamar was absolutely fabulous in that ball game.
Yeah.
And he sets a new record for the Simon Scott Assembly Hall, 44 points in that ball game, and 10 threes, which breaks the mark that Rob Turner, Rod Wilmot, and Matt Roth all share that record at one time with 9 each. So to have 10 in that ball game, and he probably could have gotten 3 or 4 more, but they took him out after he got that 10th one.
Man, that was necessary, too, after that Louisville game. Hey, by the way, too, Don, did you know as a sophomore in high school at Eastern Green, I scored 11 points in the second half after passing a kidney stone in the halftime locker room? I don't know how am I not in the Hall of Fame over in Newcastle for that?
Passing a kidney stone, huh?
Yes, passed the kidney stone, and I thought, well, I drank like 1,000 Big Reds, the soft drink, every day for the better part of 10 years. So I should have sued their ass. I don't know what I was thinking.
Is it Red Bull?
Don, this is a true story. I thought I had an STD, and then I had to be reminded that I had not done the deed yet. So So I picked it up on a seat somewhere.
You are
I
killing me.
go, I don't know. And then my coach told me I was out of shape, and I said, well, you're right. It's something else. I mean, something just popped out of here, and that's very unusual. So, yeah. And then, I put 11 points on Shekemak in the second half after passing a kidney stone. I have no idea how. I'm not housed somewhere. I could give them, like, a picture of the kidney stone as well. They could put that up at Newcastle if they ever want to.
Would you save it?
Oh, I got a picture of it. It looks like a big burr. Yeah. And Don, I don't know if you've ever had kidney stones. I'm assuming not. A big round burr coming out, especially with me, and I'm talking about me in this case, a very small hole, you know what I mean? That is very uncomfortable.
Well, here's the thing, John. I've never had a Red Bull in my life, and I'll never have one now for sure.
Oh, well, it's Big Red. The deliciously, remember the red soda out of Waco, Texas, which is, I think, it is the drink of Bedford, Indiana. I think Bedford, Indiana is the biggest per person drinker of Big Red forever right there. And that's what ultimately got me. But we have persevered. Hey, buddy, I'm going to miss you tonight. But, man, I felt so good for you on Saturday. Well done. Thank you very much. Great call. And we'll be listening coming up tomorrow night. 7:30 tip time, 6:30 coverage, 93 WIBC. It's IU in Kentucky. Get to Bloomington safely, and we'll catch up again next week with Heisman Trophy conversation, a little bit more about this IU Rose Bowl thing, and you going to Southern California, which is so appropriate. I love it.
All right, John. I appreciate your having me as always, buddy. See you later.
Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, enthusiastic about my kidney stone story right there. That is absolutely 100% true. And nobody done that. 100% true. All right, Kurt, I know we're a little bit late here. My bad. Bob Lovell's going to join us coming up on the other side. Win Schuler spreadability. The spreadability that you need. The spreadability for your elite level snack. An original sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, jalapeno pepper, and you can find it in sharp cheddar, too. Original, I believe, as well. Neiman's Harvest Market at Carmel. You'll find it at Gordon's Food Service in every single Meijer location in the state of Indiana. The spreadability of Win Schuler's. The Depot, we are in Greenfield today. We've got to see you. Bud Light Blue Friday. Monday night ticket for you, too. I got Monday night tickets and maybe a little something extra if you win those tickets and you come by. I'll explain coming up. Bob Lovell still to come and a lot more. Do not go anywhere. The stream, the app, HD Radio, 317-239-1070. That is the text line. Rivers or Leonard to start on Sunday. What do you want to see? That and more on the other side. It's 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. Hey, it's John here for WeGrowHairIndy.com, 317-522-2995. I was telling Don the whole kidney stone story. That's back when I had the all for do. I had the butt cut, parted down the middle, feathered on the side. I carried a comb in my back pocket. Why? Because I had the real growing hair. So right now, if you're getting older and you're losing it, you have the option of your real growing hair again, and that's what Darren Andrews is going to do if you give him a call at 317-522-2995. The option of your real growing hair, if you want it, you want to maintain it like I have forever. I do. 317-522-2995 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
No, this isn't an argument.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. It's just contradiction.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It is not.
It is. You just contradicted me.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did.
No.
You did just then.
No, nonsense.
Oh, look, this is futile.
No, it isn't.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
That is Kirk Gerald's back in the studio running things. Dev's the on-site engineer. Brandon and Ethan are here running promotions. Bud Light Blue Friday. I've got Monday night tickets. Niners and Colts for you, so you better bust ass down here to the Depot in Greenfield, which is an outstanding place. Joel A. Erickson. So no DeForest Buckner, no Sauce Gardner. What quarterback do you want to see? The 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, or do you want to see Riley Leonard? That discussion coming up with Joel A. Erickson at the Star, top of the hour. Now, before I get to Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk, who am I talking to right here?
Benjamin Howe.
Benjamin! So we've got a special birthday to recognize inside the Depot in Greenfield, don't we, buddy?
Yeah, it's my dad, Sean Howe's 63rd birthday.
63rd. I'm going to try to track him down here. I turn 56 next Tuesday.
Yeah, he's right over there in the red shirt.
So he's 7 years older than me. What is he, the class of 1981?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, happy birthday. Is he having an ice cold Bud Light on us right here?
Yeah.
He's kind of, is he waving? Oh, he's
recognized-
waving. I thought he was waving me off for a minute, but he's waving.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday to you. All right, class of 81.
At Carmel, yeah.
Well done right there. All right. Benjamin, good to see you again, pal.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to your dad. Go
Yeah,
back over
thank
there.
you.
We'll drink and have a good time here at the Depot,
Yep,
okay?
go Colts.
Win you some Colts tickets, too. Rivers or Leonard coming up in Seattle. 1:30 coverage begins with me, the Colts pregame huddle in our new building on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. I should also tell you, because the Pacers play the Wizards coming up on Sunday, there's going to be a dynamic when we'll be exclusively on Country 97.1 Hank FM, but I will explain that a little bit later. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he's all over the state of Indiana coming up this weekend, tonight and tomorrow. Indiana Sports Talk, the finest of the fine radio stations in this state. Bob Lovell joins us now. Hello, Bob. How are you?
I'm great, John. Thanks for having me.
We were talking, Don Fisher and I, a moment ago, and you go way back, obviously. Did you ever think we would be describing IU at the level in football in which we are describing IU? As a longtime member of this community, how still eye-opening is this for you with this football program?
It's unbelievable. Irrespective of what Fish may have said, I didn't personally think that they could have this type of season because you had seen recently. I mean, they hired decent coaches and they just not had any success. And so, I'm stunned is the word that comes to mind when I look at it. I mean, incredibly happy for everyone. With my time at IUPUI, I drew a paycheck from Indiana University, so I'm especially happy for them and happy that they've been able to do what they're doing.
It's Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. It is incredible stuff. All right, high school basketball. You'll be talking that up coming up later on tonight. We're firmly entrenched in that now, aren't we?
Yeah, and of course you have weather that's rolled in and rolling in and all that. So
yes,
you don't know. But yeah, tonight's Friday night. Friday night's a big deal. Friday and Saturday night, big weekend of basketball as we head into December. This is for the holidays, and so it's an interesting time, John. You know this. You got games that are being played. You got some extravaganzas like you'll have at Southport. You'll have regular season games. In the month of December, and You got Girls County tournament going on, so you have plenty of opportunities to see basketball. But the weather, we're not sure exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think we're going to get jacked with weather-wise coming up tomorrow, Bob, which is unfortunate. But I will say this: just as long as I know they do big things at Southport with some great matchups coming up tomorrow. But please tell me they're not cutting down the nets, because that will mess with us on Sunday morning. I can't be playing on rims with no nets. All right?
Well,
Can't be doing it.
Yeah. With your influence, I think you'll be able to take care of that. And I'm a little disappointed they didn't already inform you of that before today. So just be calm. They'll catch it. If they haven't,
last year, Bob, they did it, and they cut. And by the way, I should mention that I don't know if anybody from Southport is going to cut down the nets anytime soon, but somebody else outside of Southport probably will. And a year ago, they didn't, and we were relegated to the auxiliary gym, which is really right next to playing in the parking lot outside. That's how comfortable that is. Yeah.
Do they not know who you are?
Oh, yeah. It's a Brendan Dudas. Brendan Dudas runs stuff at Southport High School.
Right.
Have you heard his name? The baseball player, the baseball coach. He runs stuff over there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
it's unfortunate. I do that we got some really good dudes, but maybe 35% have, how should I put this, Bob? I think you'd understand it being from Plainfield, kind of wuss out at times. They go out and, maybe have a little bit too much and then wuss out at the last minute on Sunday morning, which is really embarrassing for us all, to be quite honest with you. But
I'm not so sure
hopefully we have the nets up and we can play. But I will tell you this. There's something special, and I'm sure these kids are going to find that out coming up tomorrow. There's something extra special about playing, especially in meaningful games, at Southport High School. It is the softest floor in high school basketball. It's fantastic.
I love the facility. I've always loved it. I have never played on it, but I think it's a fantastic place to play basketball. Tremendous place to watch it. It's one of those, legendary gymnasia that we have here in the state. So a little bit disappointed that they can't make allowances for you being who you are.
Hopefully, we can make sure that all works coming up on Sunday morning. All right, you got that. You got college basketball. We were conversing about, the matchup with IU and Kentucky coming up tomorrow night. Purdue gets Marquette as well. Both of those teams got back on track after Saturday losses last week to Iowa State and Louisville, respectively here. What do you think about the beginning stages of both the Purdue basketball and the IU basketball teams as we enter now mid-December, Bob?
Well, if you're Purdue, I think you're a Purdue fan. You're happy that your team is playing at the level they're playing. You have to remember this is a long season. It's hard to win every game, as we all know. I still am concerned about their ability to consistently knock down jump shots beyond the big three, so to speak. And you're just still looking for that. There have been flashes with a couple of the new guys.
Yeah.
Clough has given you good minutes and things like that, but I still think you're looking for a little more consistency and depth with them. If you're an IU fan, you have to be thrilled that at least you're now watching a team that seems to have a plan for what they're doing at both ends.
So, Bob, are you going to be talking tomorrow night? Because I know this happens at 7 o'clock. Are you going to be talking about a Fernando Mendoza IU quarterback taking on the Heisman Trophy?
I hope so. I really do. I think we'll all be disappointed if he doesn't. I mean, what more do you want him to do, for heaven's sakes? Undefeated, slinging touchdowns around the yard all the time. It's an incredible story, and we're all fortunate that we're able to be involved in it as fans and watch the IU do what they do. And so, I think it'd be really a shame if Mendoza doesn't win. I can't. Quite frankly, I'd be stunned if he doesn't win.
Yeah, you get IU Rose Bowl waiting on a winner of Alabama and Oklahoma, of course, in the Big Ten title game last Saturday night, which was absolutely incredible. And now our good friend Bob Lovell gets to dive into the high school basketball season and more college basketball and Colts and Phillip Rivers and Riley Leonard. Listen, I think you're like overwhelmed with content tonight and tomorrow night, are you not?
I think we'll have things to talk about. I mean, there's a whole lot going on. You know, you try not to get too much into the hyperbole of what we do, but it just seems like every weekend gets better and better, quite frankly.
Well, so do you, buddy. I appreciate you. Staked out down in the fantastic community of Franklin, Indiana. And that is Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk. Tonight, tomorrow night, got you covered. The fantastic stations throughout the state with Network Indiana affiliation. It's Bob Lovell on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Bob, have a fantastic weekend. We'll do it again coming up next Friday.
Thanks, John. Have a great weekend.
Bob Lovell right there. You got it. You too, Bob. Thank you very much. Bob Lovell, Don Fisher to start the show. Podcast 1075thefan.com. This reminder, because I know we're going to hit the absolute deep freeze. It's weird, right? This is where we are. Deep freeze coming up later on this weekend, and then by Christmas back in the 50s. Hell, I'm probably going to be mulching leaves coming up on Christmas. You never know. But here's what I do know. Love Heating and Air. Make sure no matter the weather situations and the temperatures, you are warm and comfortable in your home, or if need be, especially in the summertime, cool and comfortable in your home at 317-353-2141. And John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air. So if they come out, check out your place, and then find out that you need a repair. Did you know that all you have to do is mention my name, and they will give you $95 off the service fee? It is that simple with Love Heating and Air Conditioning. $95 off the service fee with any repair with Love Heating and Air. Here's that number. Write it down in case you need them. We're going to get tested here in the next couple of weeks. Going to make sure that those that can get it done for you have your back. It's Love Heating and Air. 317-353-2141. Online, love-hvac.com today. Got a great idea for you, Big Red Liquors, for this weekend, too. And we have incredible deals. Are you ready? The best bourbon deals of the season, including one of my favorites, Elijah Craig, small batch, $7.50. That's $24.99. You're going to save $7 there. The Maker's Mark $7.50 is just $19.99. Angels Envy's bourbon, that's $39.99. $7.50 brand. You got $5 in savings right there, too. Beamer goes black for 7-year. $7.50s for just $19.99. And as always with my friends at Bud Light, you know that Bud Light 16-ounce, 12-pack cans, the greatest deal across the board. That's at Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations, state of Indiana. There is one near you. Also powers the JMV takeover upon our return on New Year's Eve on B105.7. The great deals, the gift cards, and the gift baskets just in time for the holiday season and your gift buying and gift giving situations. That is BigRedLiquors.com. Tell them I sent you.
The Ride with JMV.
Now you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now go away.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Yeah, I love seeing so many familiar faces here. We're at the Depot in Greenfield on a Bud Light Blue Friday. Niners Colts tickets. By the way, that is a Monday night gathering, too. Kurt Gerald's back to the studio. That is Dev, the on-site engineer, and Brandon and Ethan are running things and promotions. We're going to get my guy Thomas on here coming up in a minute, who is the owner of this incredible establishment. If you've never been here, it is huge. You've got the hayloft upstairs. You got the downstairs. But you got the ice-cold Bud Light and the great food that is working, and your chance to win Colts Monday night tickets. And I may, if you do win, I may even add a little bit to that as well. I'll tell you more coming up. Top of the hour, Joel A. Erickson of the Star. So no DeForest Buckner return with the next situation coming up this weekend. Yeah, I'm ready too. Thank you very much. Sauce Gardner is out. We know about Charvarius Ward and know about Braden Smith. What we don't know about is, I guess there's still a question mark on who is going to be the quarterback, whether it's a 44-year-old, hasn't played in 5 years, Phillip Rivers, or Riley Leonard. I stay Rivers. And I'm going to ask you this. Thank you very much for this ice-cold Bud Light. If they start Rivers, if he does play significant time, if that happens, is this a circus, a laughingstock, or is it already that way? Who do you want to see, Riley Leonard, and I'm talking starting here, or Phillip Rivers? 317-239-1070, that is the text line. You can also utilize 317-239-1070 and call in. Kurt will take it and tell me you're there. Joel joins us at the top of the hour. Jeff is here with us right now. So give me a little background, Jeff, here at the Depot. Obviously enjoying the ice-cold Bud Light, but what else are we talking about today, brother?
So I just moved here from California last year, and this was actually the first place I took my wife.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
We moved in and didn't know where to go, and came here. And the
well,
food was
Tom,
great.
we got to give you some. beverages here or something, don't we, Jeff?
I love Bud
Where'd
Light.
you move from
Southern California. I watched Phillip Rivers never make it to where he should have been for years.
So were you a Chargers fan growing up?
I was actually a Rams fan when they used to play in Angel Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Way back,
Gotcha.
and then they moved out, and then they
You
came
were like
back.
the Cleveland Gary era a Rams fan.
Jim Everett.
Oh, Jim Everett.
Yeah.
Were you a Vince Ferragamo guy, too, when they went to the Super Bowl? Way back? Way back.
No, I'm 49.
You're 49? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you maybe would have noticed
Yeah.
if they would have gone to the Super
No,
Bowl.
Flipper
I got
Anderson
you.
and
Oh, you
Henry
got
Ellard.
Henry
Yeah.
Ellard. That was a good group, too. No Fred Dreyer?
Nope.
Fred Dreyer, remember, went on to play what television show star? Hunter on NBC back in
Nice.
the 80s. Fred Dreyer was I think, safety back then. So you're one to see Rivers on Sunday, correct?
I do, and I want him to do a little bit more than he did when he was in San Diego. Not that he was bad in San Diego, but it seemed like, we were always watching him. I always wanted him to lose, and somehow he always figured out a way to lose, when the playoffs came around.
Yeah.
But, now I'm a fan. Like, coming out to Indiana, I didn't know what to expect last year, and I got spoiled with the Pacers. I got spoiled with the Colts. I became fans so quickly, and I'm still a Rams fan, but I really am a big Colts fan now.
Yeah, well, we're glad you are. So why'd you move to to this area from Southern California? Because I know
Yeah.
you're kind of the weather. Is that why you moved?
You know what,
Because
there's-
it's great here.
I don't care about the weather in California. It's a terrible place to live.
Okay, great.
Honestly, it is. I don't want to get into politics, but we could talk pollution and taxes and
okay,
gas
yeah.
prices.
Well, at least you know that you have a great place. Now, you and your wife, this is the first place you and your wife came when you moved here, correct?
It is. We
Well
got
done.
here late one night. We drove a truck and pulled our car, a rental truck. We moved here and didn't know where to go the next morning, and ended up being here. Set up at the bar and had a great time.
This is pretty awesome
Yeah,
right here,
I
man.
mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, it
the
is.
venue is amazing.
It is big and has a lot going for it. Hey, Jeff, it's great to meet
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
That is Jeff. He is new to the area from Southern California and wants to see Philip Rivers do well coming up on
I do.
Sunday. Jeff, great to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
That is our good friend and our new friend of the show, Jeff, right there. It's funny. I look at the Philip Rivers thing. I don't think there's any way it's not going to happen, considering you end up 5 years in retirement and you come back. Here's what I believe I know. I believe I know that Rivers starts on Sunday. I believe I know that next year the quarterbacks are going to be Daniel Jones on a very small contract when he works back from that Achilles injury. I believe that Anthony Richardson will start the season as quarterback, and Riley Leonard will still be there. I also believe that you're still going to be staring at Chris Ballard, still staring at Shane Steichen, and everybody else. Lou Anarumo. I think there's going to be very little change, and I think, again, what dictated that was going all the way back. Beginning of November at the trade deadline when they made that major move for Sauce Gardner. Now, I know that may drive some away, and some are going to be upset. That is just my thought. It's not like I haven't been hardcore regarding Ballard and this whole operation. I was the one back in January that said, man, get rid of everybody and start new, which I think looking at it right now probably would have been the best move. But given their circumstances, their situation, that's what I believe what happens coming up after the season. Meantime, in Seattle, coming up this weekend, 1:30 pregame show. That's the Colts pregame huddle. You can listen to that right here, and then we'll make some changes along with 93.5, 107.5 The Fan, and Country 97.1 Hank FM. The Depot on a Bud Light Blue Friday in Greenfield. We would love to see you. Ice-cold Bud Light and great food. Our guy Thomas, the owner, is going to join us a little bit later on. Mike Wells will too. But on the other side, the latest on Philip Rivers, Riley Leonard, and the entire quarterback situation from Joel A. Erickson of the Star. He joins us next. Don't go anywhere. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back to the Depot. I'm going to get my man Thomas on here just a bit, to the owner. We're going to talk about a lot of things. I guess he's a big NHL guy. He and my son Blake can talk that up big time. He's a Blue Jackets fan. It's weird. My kid is like a Gonzaga basketball fan and loves the Montreal Canadiens, which is weird, right? And then he just sent me something and said, hey, I think we need to get this. You guys remember the bubble hockey games where you had like the sticks that you roll and the hockey guys underneath the bubble? He wants that, and it's like $4,000 with the Quebec Nordiques. I go, come on, man. Which I think is cool because he understands that, but on the other side, thinking, man, $4,000 for that? Where are we going to put that bad boy? But anyway, we'll get Thomas on here, and we'll talk about the place, the Depot, and a Bud Light Blue Friday coming up with Colts Monday night tickets to give away. And the District Tap, you know this to be true, Indy. Northside, Clearwater Crossing, downtown Indy, especially when you're downtown. That's the epicenter of what you're going to celebrate. So much to be done down there with TV, happy hour specials, and damn good food. My man Michael has it working. And this time of year, you have event space, whether it's private or otherwise, for that holiday party. Either location of the District Tap, Clearwater Crossing, Northside, downtown Indy, thedistricttap.com. You can find that for more information. Again, the Depot, we're in Greenfield on a Bud Light Blue Friday. I've got to see you here. Remember, too, we got Pacer Hoopage, and we've got Colts Happy Hour. So this show ends at 5:30 today, so I want to make sure we expedite the process of you dialing at 239-1070. Kurt back at the studio. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he covers the Colts for the Indianapolis Star and has been covering a lot here recently. This past week, no doubt, it is Joel A. Erickson who is with us now. So I'm going to ask you on this Friday, as we're just a little bit past 4 o'clock, who would you expect to start under center for the Colts in Seattle come 4:25 Sunday afternoon?
I mean, I've kind of been operating all week on just the assumption that you probably don't get Phillip Rivers to come if he's not going to be the guy, right?
100%. I've said that all along. That's why I've said he's going to start. There's zero way you do that, you jack with it, without that being the case.
Yeah, and, some people, I know there were some people saying, they can bring him in as a mentor to Riley Leonard. Like, Rivers already is a mentor to Riley Leonard because they're, he works with him in the off season. He talks to him all the time. They both live in Fairhope, Alabama, which is a suburb in the Mobile area. Great food down there. The other thing about that whole line of thinking is just Riley Leonard's main mentor this season has been Daniel Jones, and Jones, as we know from talking to Shane Steichen today, is back in the building after his surgery. So he'll be around there. If you were going to go with Leonard, I would think you wouldn't necessarily bring in Phillip Rivers to mentor him when he's already in a mentor position from afar, and you have a guy in the building that everyone with the Colts, has raved about the way Daniel Jones prepares and handles things. That's a pretty good mentor as it is. You brought him in for a reason beyond that.
Joel A. Erickson of the Stars is kind enough to join us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Bud Light Blue Friday, the Depot. We are in Greenfield today. Thank you all for being a part. So I kind of look at this two different ways. I look at this as it makes it more interesting, and then I look at this as this has potential cataclysmic disaster written all over it. You the same with me on this page?
Yeah, I mean it's a Hail Mary, right? Like we don't have really like any other option other than, I mean, you can go with Riley Leonard. He's practiced this week, but Leonard is a guy that, I think most of us understood to be a developmental player this year. I think it's a Hail Mary, and you hope that you get more out of it than you would expect from a player who's been away from, the team for 5 years. And that's why you make that call. It's just, I've seen people being like, how could they do this? This, you can't get somebody. How could you not get somebody fresher? Well, there's probably close to 100 quarterbacks in the NFL who are unavailable right now, and there's just not 100 quarterbacks who can be reasonably expected to start and play well in the NFL. So once you get to this part of December, post-trade deadline, the list of options to go get somebody who's fresher or however you want to say that, younger, the younger options you're looking at are, they're very limited. There's no way around it. They're very limited. My coworker, Nathan Brown, I got to give Nathan a lot of credit for this. He went through every transaction report this season to see, which quarterbacks tried out. He only found like 6 who had made starts in the NFL, and the other 10 or so, I guarantee there's 2 names on there that almost anybody listening has not heard before.
I tell you this, Joel, I look at the list of availability as of this week, and it's awful. And then you look at the list of free agent availability at that position coming up in the offseason, which is awful. That's just where this team is right now. I mean, it is a world of awful, and it is an absolute 180 from what we witnessed in September and October with this team at that particular position. But if you want to look at hopeless, look at those 2 lists.
Yeah, absolutely. The options for them to go get somebody are, either now or in the future. It's just not really there. And obviously they don't have their first round picks. I've seen, the reports of, an Achilles, maybe he's ready. He's back for the start of the regular season, something like that. Maybe you can go with Jones. And I wonder if, there's been some, they've brought back some guys, or not brought back, they've bet on some guys with coming off of Achilles injuries in the past. Do they just kind of go back with Jones and see when he can get back? And, who knows what happens with Anthony Richardson, but maybe just see if you have somebody who can play the first couple of games if he's not back. I don't know, but I've seen the same list you have, and it's just not like there's someone out there that you obviously can just go get.
Joel Erickson of the Stars kind enough to join us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Looking for you at the depot on a Bud Light Blue Friday. We are in Hancock County in the heart of Greenfield right now. Would love to see you. Is this? So many people have asked me this, and I don't believe it to be, but I'll ask you because you're around it much more than I am. I don't think this is a decision and a final stretch to where the coaching staff or the organization, for example, Ballard and Steichen, are working to maintain their gigs. Do you believe they are at this point, and do you believe that played a role at all in this decision?
No, I think, if you, like I said, I wrote this last week. I think if you go back to Carly Ursay-Gordon's introductory press conference with her sisters, she was asked, is this a make or break year? And her answer was, well, it depends. I need to know what happened. Were we decimated by injury? Was the example she used. And you can make that case. I think there are people out there who would make the case that, well, the edge rush hasn't been, once again, has not been what they thought it was going to be. That's true. It's 1,000% true. I think you can make the case that, the offense hasn't been as good in the last month or so as it was in the first however many games. That's true, and you can make that case. I think it's also very obvious that you can make the case that injury has, not necessarily in terms of numbers, but in terms of who has gotten hurt, the people that have gotten hurt. I mean, if you're talking about injury, guys, 5 most important Colts on this roster, Sauce Gardner, DeForest Buckner, and Daniel Jones, that's 3 of the top 5, right? That's a tough spot
Joe,
to be in.
I look at it this way. I think I would agree. I think the moment that Carly okayed that trade deadline deal was the moment we knew that this thing was going to be run back.
That's interesting because it is. It's a long-term decision. It's a long-term decision. Everyone thought that at the time. It's a quarterback decision as much as it is a cornerback decision. This was a team that was right in the middle of it, and then things started happening. And I didn't even mention Tarvarius Ward. That was the biggest free agent prize in a more active free agency than we've seen. And he's on IR now. He's going to miss the rest of the season. They have had just terrible luck with him in terms of what's happened with him from a concussion standpoint. That's another player that would be way up there on the list of players. They've told us all season with what they've done, like they believe cornerback is very, very important to this defense. And they just haven't had the guys that they thought that they were going to have.
What's interesting about that is a couple of things that Chris Ballard hasn't done. And believe me, Joel, I will out myself. I was shaking my fist. Do it. Get involved. High dollar free agency. And I guess Cam Bynum has worked, but obviously Charvarius Ward is a big question mark and going to be a future question mark as well. And then, get involved with a trade deadline deal. Make it happen for right now. And, these are things in the past Chris Ballard has not done. He shied away from. And then he went into it now, and it's all really blown up in his face. So I think you can really look at a lot of things, simply put, has blown up in his particular face, which I think it makes a lot of Colts fans look at this and say, you know what, the length of time, combined with the fact that nothing has seemingly worked, at this position of general manager, you need new presence here. And that part, Joel, I can understand. I don't think it's going to happen, but I can understand.
Yeah, I think if you were at that point a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there's nothing that's necessarily happened to change your viewpoint on it. This season specifically, if you're just looking at it from the standpoint of this season, and I know that's oversimplifying it. You can't do that, especially with things like, edge rusher, I know is a big, big thing. And it is. I mean, these last two games have been crying out for Laiatu, Kwitipe, and the rest of the edge rushers to put this team in a better position to win. They haven't been able to do it. But just in terms of the stuff that's gone on this year, it's hard to put the concussion, the calf strain, that stuff, those are injuries. That's outside of the control of the general manager. They went out and got these guys. I thought we saw it. We only got to see it for one game there, and really probably about 3 quarters before the snaps started to really pile up on Ward.
Yeah.
But that Kansas City game, we saw the vision for 3 quarters where they just did not want to throw outside at all. And then pretty much right after that, injuries just kind of started depleting them of their best players.
So Joel A. Erickson of the Star, he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So, answer me this. Mike Chappell and I had this conversation, and he thought maybe the offense was adjusted a little bit regarding the compromise, the injury, the fibula of Daniel Jones. I really didn't see it as such, and maybe that's a combination of what I didn't see or just the lack of cohesion with the offensive line, which certainly has been prevalent. But if they couldn't manage trying to protect Daniel Jones when clearly he had that fibula injury and the mobility was completely gone, outside of the quick release, what makes us believe they're going to be able to adequately put together an offensive game plan to at all protect a 44-year-old man on Sunday against a really good defense that hasn't played in 5 years?
Yeah, you're counting on Phillip getting the ball out. That's the key. Is you're pretty much just counting on Phillip getting the ball out. It's the way he played when he was here before. Like everything with Phillip Rivers, can he do it after 5 years? I mean, there's a reason you don't go get guys who've been out for 5 years unless you're in a break glass in case of emergency, which is where the Colts found themselves last week. It's you're going to be betting on him getting the ball out of his hands quick. The Seahawks. This is a test, pass rush wise. They've got 41 sacks, and I think the thing that really sticks out to me about the Seahawks is it is not a line that you feel like, oh, if I just slide it to one guy and we take this one guy out of it, we can pretty much go one-on-one the rest of the way. They're deep in this pass rush. They can come from a lot of different spots. So, yeah, the Seahawks are for real. And I would say even with a fully healthy Daniel Jones, which we have not seen since the bye week, this was going to be a protection game that was going to be very, very difficult no matter what.
Do we see DeForest Buckner? We're not going to see him this week. Do we see him come back against his old team and the Niners on Monday night, or is this going to be an even more prolonged situation?
No, I think there's a chance. I think the fact that he got back out there, Buckner, Colts fans know this. Buckner is a guy who is going to really, really try to he's going to try to get back as fast as he can. He flew to Panama, got the stem cell treatment. I would expect Buckner, or I'm expecting Buckner to really be trying to get back in terms of, when he can get back. It just, they probably felt like he's been off for so long, he's just not ready yet.
Yeah, kind of wonder about that. Do you think we see Sauce Gardner before the end of the season?
Yes, but I don't know when. Because those calf strains, as we're finding out, those of us who watch the NBA are finding out those calf strains, regardless of whether or not they involve the Achilles, are things that teams in all sports are being very, very, very careful with these days.
It is incredible what we've dealt with around here in terms of calf strains and what they've led to. I know that we kind of live in our own bubble, Joel, and we kind of gauge what happens around here because we're actually living in it. But I can't imagine anybody else in the other market has had this many of significant injuries that have been such a factor, and I mean a significant factor between high-level winning and high-level losing. This is some amazing stuff we're seeing around here.
I think the other thing that sticks out, just with the last two, where you have, Tyrese Halliburton and Daniel Jones tearing their Achilles. Those two specifically, the thing that really sticks out to me is not just that they came at, the worst possible times, which they did, Game 7 for the Pacers and for the Colts early in a game that they had to have. And it really felt to me like Daniel Jones was starting to look like himself again in that Jaguars game. I know the play he went out on was a penalty, but just the drive before, I thought, that's starting to look like the Daniel Jones we've seen before. So obviously awful timing for the season that it happened in, but then also obviously awful timing for the next season as well. Is another piece of this that's it's really just a tough situation for sports fans in Indiana. Just having one season derailed and then the next season either derailed or put into question.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Now, I think it magnifies, and Joe, I talked about this, the reason why I was on board with the Gardner deal was because you're going to live in this moment because you're not promised a damn thing next year. But, I mean, you're really not promised a damn thing next year. It's almost like people around here end up paying a price or a penalty for, even trying to do what obviously you're trying to do and win in the now. It is, again, amazing circumstances. And I don't have a real explanation. I know some do, pace of play in basketball or, just football being as rough as it is, but I don't think it's even that. I just think that you're dealing with a level here as a sports fan in Indy of bad luck that is somewhat unprecedented. I don't know how else to put it.
I mean, even you throw the fact that Caitlin Clark didn't play very much this season into the mix there. That's a remarkable amount of star power that this city has just had an awful run of luck with. And, to your point about, explaining why these things happen, I think the hardest thing is, when people get hurt, you want an answer why. You want to know why a guy got hurt. Was there something where they could have done? The Halliburton injury is a little bit different because we know he had the calf strain. We know why he was playing. There was NBA Finals on the line. But with a lot of these things, like, ultimately isn't the answer, I don't necessarily know why it happened. It's injury. Injury is not always the most explainable thing. And I think, one of the things that's always stood out to me on that is there are some guys who get drafted in the NFL, and, Colts fans will think of these names, the local names immediately, but I've covered the NFL in another market. I'm aware of other markets, and trust me, there's 2 or 3 of these guys in every market who no matter what they do, no matter how hard they work, they cannot shake the injury bug. And I don't know what the why is behind that, and I don't think teams do either, because if they did, they'd be ahead of those things, or they wouldn't draft those guys. There's a tough part with injuries in sports where you want to be able to explain it. You want to have a reason for everything. You want to have something to avoid going forward. I don't think you always get that. You don't know exactly why something happens.
Hey, Joel, in closing here, there's a lot of football to be played still and a lot of time between right now and then. But I have cobbled together a theory that Anthony Richardson will start next year, 2026, in week number 1 as the quarterback for the Colts. Who do you think that will be?
My best guess right now is still Jones. And I understand the timeline and everything like that, but they've counted on some Achilles repairs before here.
Why do you think this dude's Superman, do you?
They just, when I can't remember, when was it wasn't Eric Fisher's Achilles injury late too?
It was, but this would be expediting a process of which I would be absolutely floored. I will say this, Joel, in saying what you're talking about right now, I think we're going to see the same 3 quarterbacks back next year: Richardson, Jones, and Riley Leonard, because 2 are under contract, and I think they'll end up, at a much lower level than what we thought. Re-signing Daniel Jones because they clearly like him. I just didn't think he would be anywhere near ready for the season. Is that your belief?
I don't. It's the Fisher. It's Eric Fisher. Dio Dengbo, Marlon Mack. Like we've had a few of these, and it feels like Samson Ebukam. Although Ebukam's injury was much earlier in the season. The Fisher one, though, I wish I had that in front of me. I feel like that was pretty late, and he played fairly early. That's kind of been, part of it for me in terms of thinking that maybe Jones will be in the mix to maybe start the opener next year. Although, those Achilles injuries tend to linger in terms of whether it's affecting. Like, you can be cleared to play and playing after 1 year post Achilles tear, but usually you are not completely yourself again until the year after that.
Joel Erickson of the Star on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Man, it's always good stuff. Our buddy Chris Hagan stealthed me today, so I'm assuming he was unavailable for the appearance, but I'm sure we'll try to do it coming up again next Friday. But I appreciate you. Hey, get the hell out of Dodge before the weather comes in tomorrow too, okay?
Yeah. I have a fairly early afternoon flight. I think I should be okay.
Yeah, bust out of there, man. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend and enjoy the game in Seattle.
Okay, we'll see you.
Yeah, Joel Erickson of the Star. A lot of stuff right there on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. This reminder, too, the winter weather is on the inbound. AAA wants to make sure that you don't get stuck in the snow and the ice. Take advantage of AAA's holiday promotion and join now so you can rest easy knowing that your entire family taken care of here. Roadside service requests, simple, and download the AAA mobile app to request that service and track your service responder in real time. That is significant right there. AAA crews are watching the weather closely, just like we are right now. So make sure you become, or somebody in your life becomes, a AAA member. Do that right now. That's AAA.com or a AAA office near you. Make sure you tell them I sent you. AAA.com or a AAA office near you. Bud Light Blue Friday, the Depot. We're in Greenfield, back with you and your chance to win Monday Night Football tickets. And Mike Wells still to come, and the owner of this place, the Depot in Greenfield, Thomas, going to join us coming up before the end of the show as well. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
This is the Colts Preview on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. Here's the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor.
Welcome, everyone, to the Colts Preview, and welcome inside the Indiana Union Construction Industry Radio Studio. I'm Matt Taylor, and earlier today, Colts head coach Shane Steichen met with reporters and ruled out cornerback Sauce Gardner with a calf, wide receiver Anthony Gould with a foot, and tackle Braden Smith with a concussion for Sunday's game against the Seattle Seahawks. Also, defensive tackle DeForest Buckner will not be activated from injured reserve this week, and he'll miss his fifth straight game with a neck injury. So from a personnel standpoint, the Colts will be playing without their top two corners, one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL in Buckner, and a quarterback situation for the Colts is still very much up in the air as well. Steichen said today that the team is still working through who starts at quarterback on Sunday against one of the best defenses in the NFL. The top options, as we know, are a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who hasn't played an NFL game since January of 2021, or a rookie in Riley Leonard, who would be making his first NFL start on Sunday in one of the toughest places to play in the league. The Seahawks are one of the most balanced teams in the NFL. They rank number 2 in both scoring offense and scoring defense, and they, along with the Rams, are one of 2 teams to rank top 5 in both categories. So the Colts are 8-5 and hastily need a win to snap a 3-game slide and climb back in the AFC playoff picture, but it won't be easy against the Seahawks, who, again, are stout on both sides of the ball and feature the game's top receiver in Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's already over 1,400 yards and is averaging over 16 yards per catch on the season. Coverage on Sunday begins at 1:30 with the Colts pregame huddle, and kickoff between the Colts and Seahawks is set for 4:25, and you can hear all the coverage all day long right here on these airwaves. And that's it for the Colts Preview today here on your home for the Colts, 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Hey, John, for BullseyeEventGroup.com and the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration, did you know that we're going to be doing a show there live right before the Monday Niner with the Niners and the Colts? Make sure you got your passes right now. All you can eat, all you can drink. Celebrity chef Kelsey Murphy, she is awesome. Puts together great food. You know about the all-you-can-drink stuff too, right? So make sure you're a part of that. Get your passes right now. Hey, I will say this, because I'm nice and it's the holiday season. I'm going to give you a chance to win some passes coming up next week. But if you don't have them, maybe you don't win them, make sure you're a part of it too. All you can eat, all you can drink. The BullseyeEventGroup.com Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. You can get your passes right now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
The Ride with JMV.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
So on location, the Depot in Greenfield, Bud Light Blue Friday. I love to see everybody here. It's awesome. What a great place this is. But I do carry a bit of disappointment because I see some Mullins family members over there, and I'll talk to them, but I don't see any Josh. Now, I know that my plan was to watch Braylon play with UConn. UConn has Texas coming up later on tonight. My plan was to watch this with Thomas and the gang here and all of our friends at the Depot in Greenfield, but I don't see any Josh. So I'm disappointed on two different levels here. I'm disappointed because I don't see a Josh, and I'm disappointed because Josh hasn't called me to play pickup basketball over here yet. What the hell's up with that? How does he not call me? I saw him, I swear to you, I saw he and Braylon at a Pacer playoff game. They go, oh, yeah, we're going to call you over there to play sometime. Not a damn call yet. So the bat signal is out for more of the Mullins family here for the UConn-Texas game coming up later on tonight. Of course, the Mr. Basketball, Greenfield Central, and we'll be watching that certainly at the Depot here in Greenfield, Indiana on a Bud Light Blue Friday. We got Monday night tickets for you and a busy show. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, Bob Lovell, Joel A. Erickson, and on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline from ESPN Radio, it is Mike Wells who joins us now. Hello, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. I got to tell you, I failed. The producer asked if there was a song that I wanted on the re-entry. I told him it did not matter. And clearly, he took my word at it. And clearly, and I say this with love, he does not understand my love for R&B. Because I didn't know what the hell that was coming back in. So he's got that's that one free pass. But from now on, anytime a producer says, what do you want to hear, I'm going to specifically pick out a song and so we can so I can help out in that area on that. But it is all good.
Well, here's part of the issue, Mike. It's understandable here because we've made a transition from downtown of the Circle to Radio 1 about a mile north on Meridian at Meridian and St. Joe. So everybody's kind of getting used to a lot of new stuff. We've got completely new studios and equipment that Kurt back there is dealing with and we're all dealing with right now. So we're just trying to make sure that I think that our content and our opinions and our conversations get on the air. So, well, that's just kind of what we're dealing with. It is a changeover, a transition, if you will, going on right now.
All right, now that's understandable. And I'm about to try to put this into code words. It has been an interesting changeover. That's what it sounds like.
Yes.
Based off what you said. Interesting changeover. So, no, all is good. It's Friday. I'm excited that somebody closer to me in age is about potentially going to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts instead of somebody closer in age that could be my child. It makes me think that the new improved JMV, once the Pacers continue to get through injuries, get injured, you can sign a two-way contract. You can go out there and give them some run.
Let me tell you this, Mike, because long-standing, I was a defender of Miles Turner, and I fought to the bitter end on that. I see a new fight brewing here. And that fight is, for whatever reason, I have to be surrounded by jackassery around here that doesn't want to keep Benedict Matherin and that believes that he is trade fodder for others. And because the major reason, Mike, is because people believe that he doesn't fit when Halliburton returns. And I have to remind basketball jackasses every day that if you can play at a high level, you always fit. They will find a spot for you. So now I think I have a new fight now, and it really wasn't one that I started, but I have a new fight because I have jackasses that want to trade Benedict Matherin, and I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Hey, in the word of JMV, I wonder if those jackasses remember that Rick Carlisle is the head coach, a.k.a. Rick Carlisle, one of the best head coaches in the NBA, and he will find a way to make it work.
You believe this crap? How about this? You keep your good players. Why do we live in such a world of dumbasses where they think that good players are just so easy to get? And we talk about them all the time. Hey, Mike, he's a good player, and he's going to be even better. And I think most importantly, my man is a dog on a team that doesn't have the level of dog that he is. And if you don't know what that means, then that's on you. But I don't get why people all of a sudden now believe he's expendable because, quote, he doesn't fit with Halliburton. Hey, everybody fits with Halliburton because he gets everybody the ball in positions where they can be most successful, i.e. Miles Turner. So why would Matherin not fit? It's stupid to me.
Yeah, and listen, let's take it a step further, John. Remember all those years when the fan base was moaning and groaning about, the Pacers can't go out and get anybody good. Herb Simon doesn't want to spend any money. They're so cheap, blah, blah, blah. So now you want to go trade a guy who is averaging 21 points a game right now, hell of a player, and like you said, probably got, one of the biggest bites on that roster. It's just it is one of those fan bases just want to moan and groan over anything at any time.
It's because I live in a world of nerds is why. Most of the people that are telling me this are the biggest dorks of all time. I think that's it.
Oh my goodness. That is absurd, and I can only imagine what the things you were saying to folks on Twitter.
It just pisses me off because he is a good and continued to growing player. Well, he plays like it's just, all about him right now. Well, everybody's going to. I mean, so does Siakam. Everybody does right now because it is all about whoever's scoring because they're without the guy that spreads the wealth. And again, you've got to have guys built around. It's not like Tyrese Halliburton is going to come back and average 30, and, he's got to have guys to be successful. This team was built with guys around him, and he was the spark plug of it. He was the straw that stirs. And to get rid of really good players, sure, do you have to find a big? There's no question about that. I would also question the big that you have to find, I think, has to have capabilities of facing up and knocking down threes, too. A little high ball screen action. And if you can't do that, I don't know if you want that particular big around here.
No, and honestly, it's just the way the NBA is being played. I mean, that's the reality. Bigs have to be able to hit a jump shot. This is not old school basketball where you can dump it in the post and watch them pound it and then do a drop step for a layup or a dunk. That's just not how the game is being played right now. Hey, are you counting? Let me ask you this. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Are you counting down the day to the season ends for the Pacers?
I'm not, actually, because I like to watch the way. I want to see because everybody always talks about culture. Oh, culture is so important. Culture is a buzzword. And if it's real, I want to see this team. And I think they've done that so far. There's only been like a couple of times where you felt, they didn't play as hard as what you expect them to play. Given the circumstances, knowing that there's not a great deal of hope out there. So, no, I think right now they're entertaining for me even more so than usual just because of the situation they're in. And I like to see how they fight and they respond. And part of that is also Matherin. I mean, I like to see how he fights and responds. And, when you get new blood into the picture as well, you see how they may end up on this team. And, that's why I think we're oftentimes very disappointed in stuff that we see from Jarris Walker, because we expect a lot more from him. Maybe not successful with the team, but a lot more individually, consistently from him. And I think these are all things you can find out in what we like to call a gap season, in which, clearly they're not what we hope that they would be.
No, you're 100% right. I know we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. I'm still on a group text with all the Colts writers: Joe Erickson, James Boyd, our boy Chappie, Holder, Kiefer, and I got to tell you, I waited a couple of days before I messed with them because I remember those days of things being hectic. I'd rather be, if I was covering that team, I'd rather be in this position of having Phillip Rivers and wondering, it's a storyline of like, all right, it's going to work out, or it's just going to be like, this dude is done. The Colts are going to continue to go downhill, then having to watch Riley Leonard play the rest of the season.
I would, and you know what, you make a great point. When people brought up Sam Ehlinger and, he declined to stay in Denver, I said good, because I've seen enough of his ass here anyway, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't need to see any more. Do you need to see any more of Sam Ehlinger? I don't. So I do want to be entertained, Mike, and at the very least, either if he is successful in what might be one of the greatest stories in the NFL ever told, if he is successful, and if he's not and he gets absolutely pounded, I think at least we're going to be entertained. And I don't give a damn about Ehlinger and, frankly, Riley Leonard either. I mean, I think we know what we got working with both, but the wild card and the story is that of Phillip Rivers. So that's where I am.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting storyline for the good or the bad. That's what it's going to be. And in journalism, that's what you want. In radio, that's what you want. Because come Monday at 3:00, you're going to be like, goodness gracious, Phillip Rivers moved like I did several years ago. Or you're going to be like, damn, at 44, he has got the fountain of youth again. So I love it. I actually can't, I'm at the point now, I usually don't watch the entirety of Colts games. But on Sunday at 4:30, I'm going to be locked in and watching just for the simple fact of Phillip Rivers.
Right.
That is the only reason I'm watching
and Mike, is probably going to end disastrously too, because I don't know how in the world this is going to work, especially looking at him. I mean, he doesn't. You can tell he hadn't played in 5 years, but it's still at least more entertaining than what it would have been. And I just think until further notice, we're just kind of mired in the muck of this team. And if they're going to do something that is very circus-esque, I think that we're understanding of it, because that has been pretty much policy around here for a number of years here recently, has it not?
No. Well, exactly. You're 100% correct on that. I know I'm sure you alluded to it at the start of the week when the news broke off of this. How were you shocked, utterly surprised that of all directions to go at quarterback, they went with a guy who has not played since Kamoko Toure had the penalty to hurt them in that playoff game against the Buffalo Bills way back in 2020?
I consider that every young quarterback, all the young quarterbacks suck. All these guys stink. I will say this. I looked at the list of availability, and then, Mike, even further, the list of availability this offseason, and they all stink. Every one of them stink. So, yeah, this is really the only hope that I think Colts fans can have. I don't know what it says, but it's the only hope Colts fans can have, because everything else stinks. It just does.
Oh my goodness! Hey, I can't wait for it, brother. hey, you have a great weekend, and you know what? I might break a trend and just call in on my own on Monday. I
think you should,
depending on how this goes.
I just hope that he is able to walk out of that place on his own, because they're going to be coming at him. when he's out there trying to throw that thing. Quick release or not, especially with this offensive line that couldn't protect somebody with a broken stick, much less somebody that hadn't played in 5 years. So, yeah, this is going to be all in the details on Sunday for sure.
Oh, without a doubt, brother. Have a good weekend, man. I'll talk to you next week.
You got it, pal. Mike Wells of ESPN Radio, our good friend right there. This reminder, too, if you're getting engaged, if you want to pop that question, raise that relationship level, Moyer Fine Jewelers in Carmel. Dan Moyer's got you covered, too. The top quality diamonds you're looking for at competitive prices. You mentioned my name, get $500 off your engagement ring purchase now through Christmas Eve at Moyer Fine Jewelers. MoyerFineJewelers.com. Exclusions apply. Plus, thinking about something that is incredible this holiday season, how about this? Your engagement ring purchase? How about the lineup of watches they have, other jewelry? The watch lineup is great. Omega, Breitling, David Yurman, and more, all under one roof. And don't fumble this holiday season. Remember, if you're getting that engagement ring, if you're going to purchase that, mention my name. Say JMV sent me. $500 off. Moyer Fine Jewelers, just north of 146th Street in Carmel. That's MoyerFineJewelers.com. Live at the Depot. We're in Greenfield. More to come. Do not go anywhere. Thomas, the owner, and me and you at 239-1070 the rest of the way. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John, for Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37. That is in Fishers. Great deals with my friend Eric Wilson right now, too. Just in time for the holiday season, you have incentives to buy with an inventory that is unmatched anywhere. When you see like these commercials that say, hey, there's a big bow and they ended up buying a car for Christmas. That works this time of year. It works especially with Andy Moore Buick GMC and Eric Wilson. Ask about the incentives to buy, the service after the sale, and the one-stop shopping and the best car buying experience you're going to find any place. Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37. That's in Fishers.
The Ride with JMV.
Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, everybody, we got to go quick here. I'm going to get Thomas on, the owner, in just a second. Is that him right there? Wait, hey. Why are you not here, man? I'm going to put you on the air right here, all right, Josh? This is Josh Mullins, the father of the Mr. Basketball of a year ago, and I'm pissed off because he's not here. Where are you? I'm at
home getting ready to head to New Pal to watch my twins play basketball.
Wait. Getting ready to head to New Pal? Well, that's not where the depot. Hey, the depot's in Greenfield. That's your hometown, all right?
If I didn't have anything to do, I would be there just for you.
All right. Well, I'm missing you right here, man. Hey. We're going to play some pickup hoops sometime soon. You'd never invite me or anything. What the hell's up with that? You don't think I can play?
No, we know you can play. We just got to get you there.
All right, well, all right then. I'm going to miss you right here. I'm glad you got your family here, brother. It's good. Hey, tell the kid to go out there and get us 30 tonight, okay?
That's what he needs to do. He needs to keep his ass on the floor.
Thank you, man. All right, Josh, take it easy. All right, that is a little FaceTime. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Josh Mullins is the dad of Braylon Mullins, who evidently is not going to make it here at the depot in Greenfield, so I thought I should let you hear that. That is awesome. All right, quick break. We'll come back. The owner of the depot here in Greenfield is Thomas. He's going to join us on the other side. Hey, do not go anywhere. This reminder, too, WeGrowHairdo.com. That's 317-522-2995. Your real growing hair, again, is a phone call away. Darren Andrews will tell you all about it with WeGrowHairIndy.com. We're going to close this strong. The final 30, I'll tell you why. Get you set for the weekend. Coming up, the Depot in Greenfield on a Bud Light Blue Friday with Monday Night Football tickets to give away. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Smokey, this is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back, Big Red Liquors with 100-plus locations, state of Indiana. They got ice-cold Bud Light for you this weekend. If you're thinking about having a party, gathering, get-together, I don't know, maybe you're tailgating. Whatever you're doing, Big Red Liquors got you covered. The ice-cold Bud Light. I know Elijah Craig also on sale right now, too. All the bourbon, the whiskey that you absolutely love. Just know this to be true. Big Red Liquors has you covered. 100-plus locations, state of Indiana, one near you. Powers the JMV Takeover, which begins season number 6 coming up on New Year's Eve. To find that location and those deals nearest you, that's Big Red Liquors. Shout out to Josh Mullins. I know it may have been hard to hear because we had that on FaceTime, but he was giving us his excuse as to why he was not going to make it here today. but it was really great, and we're going to watch UConn, Texas coming up a little bit later on tonight. The reason why, we're in Greenfield, the hometown of Braylon Mullins and Josh Mullins and the entire family, and of course, you've got a great place called the Depot in Greenfield. Bud Light Blue Friday. San Francisco 49ers Colts tickets for a Monday night is what we're giving away. Dev's the on-site engineer. A shout-out to Kurt Gerald's. I will remind you guys that we're making a transition from one building to the other. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. These guys have handled this from Kurt in today as the producer to the engineering staff and certainly Dev here. They have handled this all fantastically, especially for back-to-back remotes as we have done. Man, thank you guys for what you do. I could not do it without you. You wait until you guys got to teach me this new system. What the hell is that thing called? Hey, Kurt, what's it called? Zeta? I have no idea what I'm going to do for JMV Takeover. I'm going to be playing every song that cusses, I'll be playing on New Year's Eve, man. I guarantee you that. And no idea what the hell I'm doing. But, man, our engineering staff and our staff in general have been awesome. Thank you very much. We love the Depot in Greenfield. And we got a bail at 5:30 because we have Colts Happy Hour, followed by Pacer pregame with the Pacers on the road there in Philadelphia. But Thomas is the owner here at the Depot, and he joins us now. So I had to force your ass to come on last time, but you're pretty good with it now, aren't you?
I think we
feel comfortable.
Yeah, we did it twice in a row last year. So
you
I
did back to back.
Got a little bit of experience in this.
Yeah, so you're feeling pretty good. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what you guys got going on here in Greenfield is awesome. That's great.
Love it.
Yes,
Mullins family making everything great. We got Braylon going hard. We had a good time last year. All the coaches they picked here to have dinner with Braylon.
That is so. Not only this, I think about it, and I asked you this a little bit earlier when I got here. So I'm from Bargersville, and I think Bargersville is trying to do something very similar to what you guys are doing here in Greenfield.
Yeah, putting the amphitheater out back here. It's nice having a concert venue of 8,000 people right out your backyard here. You kind of makes the city of Greenfield a little special.
Is this what you thought about when you put all this together?
I hate to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had a little bit of insight knowing that was coming and, bought the building at the right price. And here we are today with this gorgeous thing.
So a little a double back here with the building history. This is an old mill that you transformed into just an elite level, large scale restaurant, bar, and a little bit of everything for everybody.
It is built in 1906. The city wanted to tear it down about 5 years ago. So we.
Oh, really?
They were going to.
So you saved it from demolition.
Yeah. The mayor was wanting to get rid of it, so I made an offer on it, and it took me about 2.5 years to build this. But we wanted to keep everything as original as possible, and it's turned out to be amazing.
So I mean, is this all what your thought had right here?
Yeah. My wife makes fun of me. I got a good eye for vision on future stuff, and when I walked in, it was did not look anything like this. It was pretty rough, but. I think if nobody's been here, I hope they can show up and see the history of it.
Every time I walk in here, I think about where, remember the mill and Footloose where they had the prom? That's exactly what I think like when I walk in here.
If we're going to bust out some dance moves
I think I want to have a prom. I'm going to start like break dancing.
I'm on with you.
Yeah, like a town that couldn't dance, and they all danced really well for a town that couldn't dance, and the prom at the end scene right there. But I think we need to remind people you've got the downstairs location, but the hayloft is also, you've got plenty of room for everybody.
Absolutely. We got the upstairs. It holds about 75 people. And then we bought the building next door. It was the old fertilizer barn. We bought it 2 years after we built this, and it's got a beer garden next door. It's got Libby's ice cream.
Really?
Yeah, Organic Robot. He does T-shirts over there. So we got a whole stretch here, a whole block of fun.
So do you often you mentioned Bargersville people were here.
Oh, yeah.
And checking out what you have. Do you often get outside communities checking out what you have to try to do something like this too?
Across the country. I actually got the privilege to go to Sequim, Washington last year. A guy bought a grain elevator, and he's making it into a restaurant. So I've been in communication with him. I've flown out to Sequim and helped him put this together. So that's
amazing.
It's becoming a thing.
What the hell, Sequim, Washington?
Yeah, it's by Port Angeles, outside Seattle. It's out there a little bit, but it's a great town.
So he saw this place,
called me on a whim. Just called the restaurant, and I flew out there, and he's now putting a restaurant in 3 months.
Holy crap!
It's
now
good.
how similar is it to what you've done here?
About the same.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What was the biggest obstacle you had to do at the depot here?
Permits.
Oh, really?
The city.
But I mean, you kind of sit there though, don't you? So don't you make some of those political decisions?
I do now, but we got a great city. It's hard when people don't see your vision and what you're trying to put together. But once we got on the same page, it worked out well.
So when you were doing this, you were trying to make that collective balance to business owner and then politics. Did you make a lot of enemies during this, or make more friends during this?
I think we can get off this topic in a hurry.
No,
I think we can call this done.
Well, I got to do is bring them over here, man.
Being a
being a
politician, it's not easy. You make enemies, but the depot is all about gathering. It's family,
Sure. Yes.
man. We love everyone, and cold beer and good food. That's what it's all about.
So this time of year, and Thomas is the owner of the depot here. This time of year, you get holiday parties going on. I'm assuming you have a lot of them in here.
Yes, got one coming in 10 minutes.
Really? What? No, where's
They're going to be upstairs.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
What's this party entail right here? I'm going to go up there and bust that thing up.
I think it's a pharmaceutical company. Please don't.
Well, I'm all good with that. Hey, I got a lot of pharmaceuticals in this bad boy
you're
right
looking
here.
real good.
I'm like the poster child of pharmaceuticals right here. This is me. All right, so Colts games, college basketball. You mentioned UConn, Texas coming up later on tonight. Pacer hoops later on tonight. If you want to watch sports or just be entertained, this is the place.
17 TVs. We turn them on, turn the music up. Have a good time. Lots of cold beer. Lots of Bud Light.
All right. Lots of Bud Light. Ice cold Bud Light. No doubt about that. What are your hours here for tonight and then this weekend?
Is it sad? I had to literally think about that for a second.
Well, go ahead and think about
11 to 11 every day. We open on 10 on Sundays. Have breakfast. Good food.
All right. So, and holiday stuff coming up. And what do you guys always figure out what you're doing out here in the summertime? You got a big concert
we
going
just
on?
booked our big concert
Who did
for the
you
summer.
book?
I can't tell you that.
Oh,
I cannot tell you that.
Was it Smash Mouth that played out
Smash Mouth last year. Chris Cagle the year before that. Freedom Fest is our big one. This year we're doing it on July 4th, shooting fireworks off the building.
You can't tell me who it is?
I can't.
Give me a hint. Let me see if I can guess.
I will tell you. It's a 90s band.
90s band.
In between, I would say a Nirvana and Sugar Ray, right in the middle, maybe right in that general area.
Not Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay, we gotta stop guessing. We're gonna stop guessing.
Did I just guess right?
No, you did not. But
right.
yeah, if I bring Goo Goo Dolls out, we're good. But we're gonna stop guessing just in case. But I'm under a lot of.
I just guessed right.
But
are you under double secret probation?
I am. They have told me not to say a word, and I would love this band to come out and play for us on July 4th. So Freedom Fest, it's a good time out here. We packed the house, 8,000 last year, hoping for 10,000 this year. Love to see you out on the patio.
Well, why don't you invite me out here? I'm ready to go.
You're a tough man to get a hold of. That's what they tell me.
Here's why. I just go next door and get really drunk at my neighbor's house.
But no, come out, enjoy it. We have a great time. Bud Light's out here, the Zinc guys.
I am kind of a good party to bring.
Bring it.
I do bring the party.
Yeah. Well, the party's always on the patio. It'll be a good time on Freedom Fest this year.
No doubt about that. I see out there they're putting up the Christmas stuff.
We got some kids coming out. The barn is opening up tonight. Park and Rec, Greenfield. They're going to do some ornaments and some cookie stuff out there and let kids run around and have a good time out there.
All right. So what are your hours tonight and the rest of the weekend?
11 to 11.
And don't worry about the weather. We're all going to be okay.
You're in an old pole barn. It can't get cold, right?
No, this is great right here.
Yeah.
What's your heating bill for this?
Once again, it's not fun.
Not fun.
Not fun.
A lot of space to
that was something I didn't think about when I built it, but it is. But
are we now I know I'm sure IU and Purdue and Colts and Pacers, but
Come on.
UConn fans around here too?
Well, first of all, you're missing Notre Dame.
Well,
it's an Irish house. You know,
is this really an Irish house?
You dadgum
Lord
right
have
it is.
mercy.
You know, but we root for our Irish around here. But we represent everybody.
What is the biggest team in this place?
I hate to say this. It's an IU.
Is it really
an IU place? You know, it's when Braylon was making that choice, it just seemed like every day we were having the IU on all the time.
Yeah, people come in here all pissed.
Yeah,
they go, damn it, UConn.
We had Mr. Woodson over there eating a piece of pie, you know. Yeah, he was sitting over there.
Yeah,
But
well, we saw how that went. Yeah.
yeah, so no, but it's definitely an IU house for the most part.
That's awesome. All right, one more time, the hours and everything, Thomas.
11-11. Love everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
And will you guys, Christmas-wise, you'll take a break and then come back? And then New Year's Eve, what do you got going on for New Year's Eve?
Biggest party, masquerade party.
Is it really a
It
masquerade?
is, yeah. Put about 250 people in here.
See, this is what really hit me strong is I think you're disappointed because Lindsey Monroe and Gina Galeros aren't here as they were last year.
My man. Oh, yes, sir.
We came in on Halloween.
Partied hard.
And we all were in costume, and they were too, and they were
Yeah,
here.
it was a blast. Man, that was such a good time. I appreciate you being here
I do
that day.
occasionally see Lindsay, but Gina now works, I think, during the afternoons on Wish TV Channel 8 in front of ones of people.
Well, if you see them, tell them I said hi.
So, yeah. But
They were good-
they
good
are
group.
awesome.
Good
They
group.
Are both, and really not going to find anybody more talented than both of them are. And you talk about working the crowd. They do that great. Too,
Love it.
So. All right, Thomas, thank you, brother.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, Thomas right now is the owner of the Depot here as we sit here live in Greenfield with you. All right, we got 239-1070. Kurt, I'm going to work some phones here. I know we got until the bottom of the hour. Let me get you updated on the situation here on the Fan. So 5:30, you're going to go to me again for Colts Happy Hour. And then an hour later, you're going to get Pacer pregame. The Pacers on the road in Philadelphia versus the Sixers. But I've got time for you, and I've saved this time for you, and here's why. I want to hear on who you believe should start coming up on Sunday. Should it be Rivers or should it be Leonard? And then to add to that, will this make any difference whatsoever? And I tell you what, Kurt, you can tell me via text who gets on the line here, but I want to work some calls in here. And we could also do the text line at 317-239-1070. But how you're feeling about this particular weekend in Seattle for the Colts? I mean, really, is it all about what probably is going to happen is going to be very negative, but you're entertained in the direction they're going, which normally doesn't lend to winning? Or do you actually believe in Phillip Rivers and believe in what this team is doing? 239-1070 is that number. I do want to hear from you. We got like 15 minutes for you guys to chime in now. If it's not that, you're going to restore IU Kentucky coming up tomorrow evening down in the Commonwealth. You got Marquette and Purdue as well. And I'm going to double back to my thoughts that I had a little bit earlier regarding Benedict Mathurin, which to me is just absolutely ridiculous. All right, calls at 239-1070. I believe you did say Matt, who is joining us now. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing? Just left there. Nice to see you.
Matt, it was great to have you out here. So what are we thinking about this Colts quarterback situation coming up on Sunday? How are you feeling?
Well, I mean, we are season ticket holders, but I mean, to me, it's Riley Leonard. I mean, I think it's been mismanaged all year. They knew 4 weeks ago they had a hurt QB. We were leading the division. I think I've agreed with Ryan Clark once in my life, and I think if you heard his take today, I kind of agreed with him for the first time ever. This just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, listen, and I know that everybody has explained this as a Hail Mary. Here's what I believe, and I don't know if this is a further indictment of the organization, Matt, and the coaching staff, but they believe in this. They believe that he can add. And I don't know really how to think about that, because this is their belief. I think it's more than just there's nobody else out there and you look at the free agency list and there's nobody get. They absolutely believe in what they're doing right here. So I think we're all going to have to be, because I'm with you on this too. I'm not a buyer in how this is going to be a positive on Sunday, but I am a buyer in it being very entertaining. This is an indictment organizationally, thinking this is what they believe is their best choice coming up in Seattle on Sunday, which is head-scratching, to say the least.
Yeah, you've been around a long time, and I don't think that the people who are dialed into Indy sports are surprised that Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen truly believe in this at this point.
Yeah. Crazy. Hey, great to see you out here. Thanks for coming, Matt, man. We'll see you again soon.
All right, thanks.
239-1070. Let's go to Jeremy next. Kurt back to the studio. Jeremy, you're on the air with us. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, JMV?
Great, Jeremy. Is this going to work?
No. I read this article this morning about Billy Bob Thornton and how screwed up his childhood was. He said that his dad used to take him driving around to go look at car crashes. And I kind of think that that's what this is going to be. Everybody has to look at this, but it's going to be a car crash.
Yeah, I agree too. And listen, you buy what we've been talking about here, there's zero way that Phillip Rivers does what he's doing right now not to get the endorsement from the coaching staff and Shane Steichen, then he's going to play that significant role on Sunday. I mean, people say, well, maybe it's going to end up being Riley Leonard. If you're Phillip Rivers, why do you jack with it if it's going to be Riley Leonard?
I just can't help but think it's human nature. When you get older, your brain goes, yeah, I can do this, but then your body tells you, hey, buddy, no, this ain't going to work. And I just hope, like you said earlier on the show, I hope he can walk away from the game.
Yeah, I also see about this, too, is we've been down this path, not in a similar situation, but similar situations that are laughable. We've been down this path before. So I think a lot of people are just kind of awaiting what they believe is going to be the inevitable, and this thing not working whatsoever. Jeremy, anything else?
Yeah, I think the next game will probably go with Cam Newton or something like that.
Yeah. Clearly, and Jeremy, thank you for the call. Have a great weekend. This was just a situation where they knew very well Phillip Rivers, and that's where they decided to go here. I think if you had, I'll give you a great example. If they had familiarity with Cam Newton, then maybe they would have thought about Cam Newton. But this was clearly familiarity with somebody that they believe could be better if they install him in there, even on Sunday, even after 5 years of not playing, better than any of the other options that they have. Now, I will tell you this, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I would much rather be watching this on Sunday than Sam Ehlinger, because you know what that's going to be like. I understand that you probably also feel what this is going to be like as well, and it may be a disaster. It probably will be a disaster, but I guess it's going to be an entertaining disaster. Davey, I heard you talking about Benedict Mathurin a little bit earlier. What are your thoughts there as far as him being dangled in trade offers? I think that would be as dumb as hell. And I said that earlier. Actually, last night I said that on the social media platform X. This guy's going to be a scorer. He's going to be go-to. He just wants to win. What the hell do you want to get rid of a dude like that? And then try to tell me that he can't play? He doesn't fit with Tyrese Halliburton? Tyrese Halliburton fits with everybody. You want to know why? Because Tyrese Halliburton puts people in positions to be at their best, i.e. Miles Turner. What kind of dumbass move would it be to be trading Benedict Mathurin? I don't get that. This is going to be my new Miles Turner right here. I don't get it. I know all you guys out there are smarter at basketball. You're not, but I know you think you are smarter at basketball about this. And before you say, well, you weren't right about Miles Turner, damn straight I was right about Miles Turner. They went to 7 games in the NBA Finals for the first time ever this past year. And I know he sucked, but he helped them get there. So, yeah, I'm going to be right about this just like I was right about that. Adam's up next at 239-1070. Hello, Adam. How are you?
John, how we doing? It's been a little bit.
It has been a little bit. Adam, what's up?
Oh, not much. I'm just, wearing blue for Blue Friday, Bud Light Blue Friday, and I got my Jim Irsay hat on and spot. But hell, I mean, why not throw them in there? Matter of fact, while we're at it, let's call Edgerrin James. Let's call Dwight Freeney. Let's call Robert Mathis.
Here's what I'm saying, Adam. I'm saying if you're going to utilize Tyler Warren, you utilize him in a passing game to try to save the life of the 44-year-old quarterback that hasn't played in 5 years. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's where he's best going to be utilized.
Most definitely. I mean, we definitely need some blocking, like for real blocking.
Well, the offensive line has not proven that. And that's what worries me the most, I think, Adam, about coming up Sunday is the fact that, even with an injury with the fibula with Daniel Jones, the blocking, the protection still wasn't there. And the Colts were they didn't find a way to protect and a way to, I didn't think, to adjust things offensively. And, Mike Chappell disagreed with me yesterday. He thought they made a lot of adjustments. I didn't think they made a lot of adjustments with Daniel Jones. I thought they treated him a lot like when he was compromised with that injury, a lot like he was when he was healthy back in September and October. So if you're going to ask me about the major concern, I think that's at the top of my list coming up Sunday is that.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, it gives you reminiscence of when Andrew Luck was here, and he just got rolled up. I mean, rolled up countless times.
Yeah. So we shall see. Adam, anything else?
Yeah, hey, brother, just letting you know, I'm still putting in them miles even though it's gotten cold outside. Like the other night, it was below freezing, and I'm out there running, busting my ass.
Tell you what, man, that's chafing of the nips right there. I don't know how you do it, but well done. I don't want my nips chased. No way. Thank you, brother.
Have a good night. We'll talk to you again.
Get some big Band-Aids and put them on the nips. Cold weather and running outdoors means chafed nips. I don't know man. Listen, dudes or chicks, nobody wants chafed nips. Kurt, you want chafed? I don't want that. Man, great job out of everybody today. Hey, I want a round of applause because I love the depot here in Greenfield and Thomas and the gang here and our friends from Bud Light. But, Dev, great job out of you, too. Brandon and Ethan, well done from you. Back of the studio, Kurt Gerald's in for our good friend James. I think next week, Peter Billingsley, who is Ralphie in Christmas Story, is going to join me on Tuesday. He's going to be in town next week. I'll explain that. I'll leave that until Tuesday. All right, coming up, Colts Happy Hour with me. After that, Pacer pregame, Pacers in Philly. Remember, 1:30 on Sunday, I'm going to take over in what should be a very entertaining Colts pregame huddle. Man, you guys be safe out there if the weather gets inclement as it's predicted tomorrow. And hang with us. You guys have been great. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.